All of this began around the area of Jerusalem and Judea. Now, in 70 AD, that was the Roman legions. And the Romans came in there and they destroyed the first temple, and there was one of the first Jewish wars. We all know about, well, most people know about Masada. A group of religious zealots, a group of Jewish religious zealots walled themselves in on the top of Masada, which was an impregnable fortress.
Yes.
The Romans, being the Romans, were like, an impregnable fortress. What fun. Let's have a go at it. And they proceeded to lay siege. And this is apparently where the tale of the menorah comes from. The Jews light light the candles, the 8 candles, the candelabra on their holy days. I believe that's where it comes from. They made a single lamp of oil last for like 8 days.
Which, let's be honest, if you're going to start comparing religions, making oil last 8 days is a lot more believable than a woman getting pregnant without the presence of a penis. I'm just saying.
At any rate, let's not start shit on YouTube just yet.
I'm just saying.
I got you, but let's not get carried away just yet.
I'm just adding some humor here.
That's fine.
This is a dark subject, and we need some humor.
No, it's not. This is an interesting subject. It's just very dry. So the Romans controlled that whole region for frickin' ever. Okay? And Pontius Pilate was the Roman overlord there. I forget the title at the time. Prelate. I think it was a prelate.
Preept or something. Yeah. He's the one that stood up God on a stick.
No, he's not.
Pontius Pilate didn't wash his hands, and then Jesus.
Yeah, he had his guys do it. He wasn't the one who did it himself, though.
Okay. Well, he was in charge. He
gave the order.
And he said,
he gave the order. Now, of note, crucifixion was a Roman thing. It is not a Christian thing. That's a very Roman thing. The Muslims later adapted it themselves.
Well, it was horrific.
It is. It's a terrible way to die. You suffocate. You suffocate. Yeah.
I mean, that's horrible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get away from the sticks already.
All right.
Okay. So the Bar Kokhba revolt happened under the Emperor Hadrian. Most people know Hadrian from Hadrian's Wall. He was also the emperor who really put the boot to Jerusalem. There's another incident where another Roman emperor named Germanicus, who was the commander of, I believe, the 11th or 12th Legion under Julius Caesar when he waged the Gaul campaigns, which is fascinating reading. It's a totally different story, though. We're not going there today. Anyway, this Emperor Germanicus, who was a beloved general, he is the one who had statues of himself put up in the Jewish temple at Jerusalem and other holy sites, including in Alexandria, which ended up in him being assassinated by his own Praetorian Guard. You know him as Caligula. And he is the most demonized figure of that period. And it follows a pattern later on involving an Austrian artist being demonized as well. The downfall and demonization follow the exact same pattern. I know I read through the whole thing several times. Anyway, Caligula also gave them a load of shit in Jerusalem. Now, after Jerusalem fell to the Romans, that's when they named it Syria Palestia, the northern area that was Judea. Those people are the Judeans, not specifically the Jews.
Is that Syria today?
That is Palestine today.
Okay.
The kingdom of Syria extended into there in the north. Below that was actually, let me map a thing over here. Map. See where Antioch and Edessa are?
Uh-huh.
That northern area there, this would have been Syria. Here's Tigris. That's Iraq over there. Yes. And
yeah, my guys had some scuffles on the border with Syria while in Iraq before.
Yeah. Yeah. And then down below there is Jordan. And then there's Jerusalem there. So that would have been part of Syria. So they renamed it Syria Palestia, and it became Palestine eventually. I got the position of the Euphrates wrong, by the way. The Euphrates is closer to Iraq. But that basin there between the Euphrates and the Tigris, that's a critical area.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of agriculture in that
Yeah,
area.
that's a massively critical area. At any rate, during that period from 135 AD through the 4th century, that's when the Romans controlled that whole region. So hundreds of years it's under Roman control.
And it was a total bloodbath the entire time.
Not the entire time. A lot of the time. I would say that there were always conflicts in the region.
There was like every 15 to 20 years, there was always a revolt, a revolution, some kind of civil strife.
Yeah.
And the Romans put them down hard.
Yeah, but that was the way it was done in those times.
It was.
Now, here's Spain over here. We know where Spain is. Below there, Morocco down here, of course.
You see the map.
Oh, that's me because I did that. Spain over here. And then below that is Morocco and Libya and Algeria and Egypt. And this nub right here was Carthage. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry. This nub over here. This is Carthage. And in what is now Tunisia.
And this is North Africa today, which is still a hive of scum and villainy, and slavery is legal.
At that time, I've seen slave camps. I've seen slave markets.
Today, the slavery is still in North Africa.
I have seen slave markets in Algeria. And the guys we were with, like, no. We're like, that's the slave market. They're like, no. Kept going.
Yep.
We were driving through an area in Algeria, and we saw them, and we were like, hey. So, yeah, I don't want to hear anything about slavery from anybody here in the U.S. It's still going on in Africa. Sort your own mess out first. Here's something that if you read history, and I've mentioned this before, the entire Mediterranean was at that time, in the time of Christ and before that, the coasts were basically all white Mediterranean stock.
Yes.
So the Levant,
by Rome.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And the Egyptians, there are white-skinned, red-haired Egyptian mummies. And if you go look at museums, you see them. And in Turkey, that's where the city of Troy was, that was also white. If you read Homer or Virgil, they talk about it. At any rate, that's why you've got all of these groups in the Levant area. That's what's going on when you hear about the Muslims doing their incursions into that area. And here's a better shot of, let's see if I can get this to...
Doing some stuff.
I am doing some stuff.
Getting it working.
I'm trying to get it so we can see the area better. Now you can see the Seljuk Empire, okay? That was the Turks. There's Mosul. That's Iraq over here on the upper right-hand corner. And then Syria, Jerusalem in 1099. These are the battle maps. But that entire area, after Rome accepted Christianity, was basically the seat of Christianity. And that's where a lot of Latins and Europeans started to move to. Now, historically, there were 4 great Latin states. And everybody says that, they really only existed after the First Crusade. Well, those people are always there. Those 4 states were formed during the First Crusade to protect them. That's why the Crusades came. Because all of that previous settlement was being wiped out. So, where are we here? The Byzantine Empire, the Empire of Constantine, the Eastern Roman Empire, became more and more decadent. Basically, by the late 5th century, Rome had fallen in 472. Rome's gone. So the Roman Empire that we think of no longer is there.
It was split in 2.
It was split in 2.
Yep.
And the Eastern Roman Empire, based in Constantinople, which is now Istanbul. There's a really bad 80s song about that. Don't anybody start singing that. It's crap. I hate that song. At any rate, Constantinople was the seat of the Eastern Roman Empire, and they still controlled the entire region of the Levant.
And I believe Constantinople was sieged many times over a 400 or 500 year time frame.
It didn't fall until the 15th century, though. It did not fall until the 15th century. At any rate, the thing is, the Byzantines took over the Levant after the Roman Empire fell. In 451 AD, the Council of Chalcedon in Jerusalem was elevated to the state of a patriarchate, which means that it was officially now a proper Roman state and had a vote in the Senate and all of that good stuff.
In the Byzantine Empire.
Yes.
Okay.
But then in the 6th century, that's when things got nasty with the Persians, and the Persians are their whole own thing. There's Darius and Xerxes and all of the other kings that came along, but they were the ones giving Constantinople a lot of shit through the region of what is now Western Turkey.
Okay. And
that lessened the Byzantine power. So along come the Muslims in 636 AD. The Rashidun Caliphate defeats the Byzantines at the Battle of Yarmouk, which is basically the tipping point. Where that is and everything is really not that relevant. What you need to know about 636 AD is that's when the scale began to tip and Islam began to take over that part of the world, and the Roman Empire started to go. Now, the Roman Empire would hang on until the 1400s, but nowhere near as powerful as it was, and it would lose all of the Levant and the parts of the Middle East in Syria that they held. And then, of course, most of what is now Turkey would start to go. Constantinople is far west in what is now Turkey. So, let's see here, 638, not 2 years later, Caliph Umar accepts the surrender of Jerusalem, and the city becomes part of the Islamic Caliphate.
All right, hang on a minute. Let's explain exactly what an Islam Caliphate is.
It is basically a kingdom, and you would have a caliph, which is essentially a king for them. Yes.
So it was basically a giant tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You had one guy running it.
Right.
And then if he had multiple sons, they would actually kill each other until there was one left that would take over.
I don't know about all that for certain. I'd have to research that. That is a separate but fratricidal rabbit hole.
Here's the thing that destroys Islam is the very fact that they depend on the caliphate. It always evolves down to that. And those are easily taken apart.
They do rely on caliphates. That is a known fact. So now they've got control of Jerusalem. That caliph is assassinated, and what's called the Umayyad Caliphate, which is based out of Damascus, Syria, takes control. Now Syria has fallen to the Muslims. If you go back, like I said, and read the early Greek histories, like Polybius or Homer or Virgil, you'll find that Syria, most of Syria, Western Syria, was white. Was basically Latin Europeans. But now the Islamists, the Muslims, have taken it over, and they bring with them the desert tribes from the Middle East and the Saudi Arabian regions.
Yep.
So in 691, the Dome of the Rock is completed under Caliph Abd al-Malik. And the Dome of the Rock is their holiest site in Jerusalem. And it's built on top of one of the oldest churches in Jerusalem, which is built on top of a Jewish temple in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
You can see that there's all kinds of shit going on here.
Here's the thing.
Everybody's,
All right.
The Muslims, I just want to say this real quick first. The Muslims have no legitimate claim at all to Jerusalem. They don't.
All right. Well, they did win it in conquest. So
okay, I'll give you that one.
So if you win something by conquest, you do have a say in it. I'm just gonna. That's how humans work.
Hey, ain't nobody birthed no babies there. Okay.
All right. I don't know, man.
We're arguing for the sake of the discussion.
Okay. But here's the thing.
You're a dick. What?
We're fighting over this fucking holy land
Mhm.
that has literally been fought over since the fucking beginning.
Yes.
I
It is
am
the most contested region in the Western world.
like that one part in the Kingdom of Heaven where he threatens to destroy the entire city, every stone, every structure, and what's his name? The Islamic general
Saladin.
Saladin says, "I wonder if it would be better if that happened." I'm sick and tired of waging wars over this piece of fucking dirt.
Well, there's no reason for us to be waging wars over it.
Correct.
If they want to fight over that, that's great. Have a good time.
But the thing is they're taking our blood and treasure
Yes.
for the privilege of living in the Holy Land. I'm sick and tired of it. I really am.
Yeah, it's annoying. It is annoying. So the early Islamic period starts in that part of the world right around 636 AD. That's when it really begins.
And by 700 AD, they were going full ball.
By 700 AD, the administrative center for the Caliphate has moved to Baghdad. They've now taken that part of the world. To Baghdad, I think it was Zoroastrian, or a prior religion before Islam and Christianity.
Well, Zoroastrianism was there, and then there's another one that was the ISIS wiped them out. I'm trying to remember what the name was called.
Yazidis.
Yeah, they were wiped out.
The Yazidis. Yep, and they were white. I remember seeing all the pictures of these Yazidis. They were straight up white people. They had blonde hair, blue-eyed girls. Blonde hair, blue-eyed, green-eyed.
In Kirkuk, that was very common. I mean, there was blonde hair was pretty common, red hair.
Those are the remnants of the original peoples. I very briefly dated a girl from the city of Accra, which is right in here.
Where I can't.
I'm sorry. There. See my mouse now?
No.
There's the city. There's 3 cities there: Sidon, Tyre, and Accra. And she said her family had just always been there, like historically. Her family went back 1,000 years at least, and she had a mane of gold curls and bright green eyes, and she was absolutely batshit crazy. I dated her. We went out on like 2 dates. That was it. Yeah, and then the crazy alarms went off. I'm like, you're fun, but it's time to go, I think.
I don't need a knife in my back.
Yeah. And it was like just limited to dates too. I never let that get any further because it got weird really fast.
Yeah.
So anyway, now the Caliphates start to do what they do, and it's what you talked about just a couple of minutes ago. They start to fragment. In the 9th and 10th centuries, the Abbasid authority weakens, and local governors and dynasties start to gain autonomy. Now, the Egyptians had a group called the Tulunids. They controlled Palestine and Syria at the time, and then the Fatimid Caliphate, which was based in Cairo, they invaded, overran the Tulunids, and took over Jerusalem and most of the Levant.
And if I recall, they actually held Egypt for hundreds of years until Napoleon destroyed them.
Already looking at, we'll go that far later, but today we're only looking there. Right now, they've already held the Levant for 320 years.
Yes.
Now, this Fatimid Caliphate, they reach in and they take through Ascalon here all the way up to Tripoli.
Okay.
And where's my mouse? You can see it there, Tripoli right there. They hold that whole region, and that's where we are in the year 969 AD. All of the original Christian population, all the original Latin population, what's left of the Roman populations, who are now mostly Christian, but I looked this up once. There were something like 47 different religions in the Holy Land at the time of Christ. Everybody thinks it was just Jews. Was absolutely not. It was absolutely not just Jews. There was still the Roman religions. You had the Zoroastrians. You had some of the old religions. You had the the Malachians, for lack of a better word. I don't know what else you would call them. But now you've got mostly just Islam, and Islam starts to do what it does, which is slaughter the living shit.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.